Hi, good evening. Welcome back to my every Wednesday tonight postponed to Thursday. Okay, Facebook Live on my official page. Let's see now that we changed to Thursday for this today itself and see how many of you here are still there. Okay, all right, like loyally, okay, following this particular page itself. Okay, let's see if it's like anyone watching. Okay, for the time being, yeah, I see that there's someone watching there. All right, if you are tuning in now on this Facebook Live, please do let me know how's the sound, how's the visual, okay, whether you can see well, okay, because today there are quite a number of slides that I want to share with you, and also that you can hear me clearly as well. All right, so hi, Saman Zaidi. Okay, Saman Zaidi, good evening to you. How's the sound? Let me know. All right, whether you can hear me well or you can see the screen well as well. All right, I might sometimes appear lagging and all that. I think the most important thing is you can actually hear me lah. Okay, whether my interactive is a bit laggy or not, that doesn't matter. Okay, as long as that audio is clear, okay, that will be important. Hi, Evelyn Ong. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Okay, how are you guys? Okay, coping with after the whole like no festive season and all that. I guess that by now everyone is focused, getting busy back to work. Okay, so the same thing goes to me and my team. I know that somehow I just got back today, okay, from the mountains itself. We went on a retreat for 1 week, but yeah, somehow we thought about it. It's like, it doesn't feel like a retreat, okay? It was kind of hectic, except for the 17th and the 18th. That was so peaceful when we went into meditation. But after that, it was like, wow. I guess also because the portal opened, the energy has been really accelerating. It's like we can really feel, okay, the intense energy. And of course also, right, it's part of me and my team decided that we want to start a Telegram channel. And because of that also, there are more commitment from my side and our team side. So there's more work for us to do, right? More videos to prepare, more contents to prepare. Yeah, that's why it is hectic. All right, hi, Mr. Lim. Okay, hi, neighbor. It's like, yeah, hi, Mr. Lim. Okay, hope everything is good there in Singapore. Really looking forward. I know there are some news here and there. Like my clients have been telling me that Australia is opening its border, I think. Okay, I'm not really looking into it, but there have been like really people asking, it's like, when are you coming to Australia? Okay, our plan, if all goes well, yeah, probably middle of the year, then I will make a trip there because I prefer it cold. Okay, not now. It's not cold enough. All right. Hi, Shuk Yi, Shu Yan. Okay. Hi, Chang Feng. Okay. Thank you so much, all of you, for tuning in. Right. I also miss Singapore, but I'm not sure whether can we travel to Singapore. I mean, without all those hassles that I have to go in and I poke my nose every day and all that. Okay. With those hassles, maybe not yet lah. Okay. But whenever it's really open, okay, for tourists to really go in with like less requirements, then yeah, okay, I'll be like all ready, okay, to gear up for my traveling. All right. The same thing. Oh, Mr. Lim say we'll meet soon. Yes, okay, that's good news. All right, so the same thing, if you are just tuning in on today's session, please do help me to share the session out, okay, to your Facebook so that it can help to reach out to more people. All my Wednesday exceptional tonight, okay, on Thursday, Facebook Live are all fully sponsored by J Groups Building Dreams Together, right? A big thank you to all of them. It has been more than a year and they would like to continue on with this sponsorship for me to actually bring more contents to all of you. So truly grateful for that. Okay, so tonight's session itself will be continuing the series of the Wealth Code, okay, where I'll just put in the title as money lah, you know lah, okay? It's all about wealth. It's all about money, okay? And the importance of it, okay? Why is it so important? How can we, in a way, pay attention? What are the things that we have to pay attention, okay? In this particular Wealth Code series. I know, I was reminded that I have to minimize my usage of okay. I will remember that, okay? I will try to have more awareness to reduce the usage of okay, especially whenever I'm distracted, okay, did I just say okay there? All right, whenever I'm distracted externally, when I'm taking videos and all that, there are people moving around, walking around, and we have to keep our distance because in order for me to have the sound, okay, clear, I have to take out my mask, okay, and I just did another okay. All right, so I have to ensure that I stand, okay, in an adequate distance from other people because safety comes first, right? So hi, all of you. I will try to remember. Whenever you caught me saying okay, please highlight to me, all right, because I will forget. Right, so tonight's session itself is all about wealth. Okay, so let me just bring out the slides to all of you. Right, I'm going to look into money, the importance of it. And of course, when we talk about money itself, right, either we have the money or there could be possibilities that we are in debts. Now, a lot of people seems to have a lot of money, but they are also in debts. All right, I'm sure that like probably you know some people that they are lavishly branded goods all over. They have like lavish, like really like home, and then they have like really lavish cars and all that, but they are still in debt. Okay, so first thing is you have to, in a way, all right, understand that I always talk about wealth and also abundance. Now, abundance and prosperity, it means that the higher our abundance and prosperity means the chances of like the minimal the debt that we get into. Because it's important for us when we look into the topic of money or wealth itself that we have to understand that, especially if it's bad debts. When we get ourselves into bad debts, of course, okay, I just got back from Genting Highlands. I didn't actually go up to Genting Highlands. I'm not very interested, okay, that's another okay there. Right, I'm not very interested in Genting Highlands, nor the casino, nor the theme park. I'm only interested in the feng shui, all right? So most of the time, I don't go up to the peak. The most is I go up to the temple, and then I will stay at the bottom, okay, of the hill itself. Now, I know a lot of people, I'm sure you know as well, who frequents the casinos and all that, they often get themselves into bad debts. Now, I'm not saying all, okay? Some people, in a way, makes money out of it. But there are a lot of people who are actually, in a way, making themselves, or in a way, like ending up, okay, in bad debts. And bad debts itself is important because the thing is we have to understand that once we get ourselves into debts, especially bad debts. Now, there are good debts as well, okay, but we will leave it for another topic. But as long as we get ourselves into bad debts itself, it destroys it. It will destroy our relationship, our family, okay, our freedom, physical health, mental health as well. So that's why it is important, especially now, okay, in this particular, I wouldn't say that it's in the middle of the pandemic. Yeah, we are in the middle of pandemic, but it's not really at the peak of it. I'm sure for the past 2 years, every one of us have learned a lot of things. We have learned a great deal of things that, yeah, we have been living with the pandemic. We have been living with restriction for 2 years. I've not been able to see my great neighbor of like, for a long time. My great neighbor, Mr. Lim, okay, Serious Bride in Singapore. We have not been able to see each other for a long time. We used to, in a way, almost see each other every month or so, right, in 2019. So through these 2 years itself, I'm sure all of us have learned a great deal. There's a lot of awareness. There's a lot of like realizations that have happened, all right? And we know that in this particular entire time itself, like we need money. Whether or not, I know a lot of people say that money is not everything. Money cannot buy happiness or whatsoever, okay? I do believe in that. But at the end of the day, if we do not have the money, that's not being practical. So today we want to look into the topic of money. So first of all, last week on the first episode, we talked about money between yin and yang. Money represents on the yang counterpart, it represents wealth, okay, achievement that we have. And the yin counterpart here represents prosperity and abundance. That represents fulfillment. Now, the thing is, a lot of people try to, in a way, focus on only the yang part. Now, these two equations are very important because if we do not work on these two, okay, both the yin and the yang, we will never be able to find the balance between both achievement and fulfillment at the same time. I'm sure many of us have seen people that achieve a lot. They have plenty of like title, status, okay, they have a lot of power and even authority, they have a lot of money, but they do not have the fulfillment and ends up in a way, right, ends up in a way that probably the life itself ends up in a tragedy. Some people commit suicide and other things. That is the fulfillment. Or at the end of the day, you see people somehow having all the money, but somehow they lose their loved ones. There are a lot of betrayers. There are a lot of fight going on, right, in the family itself. Now, that is sad. Okay, recently, if you look at the case, end of last year, if I'm not mistaken, Anita Mui, there is this particular movie about her life. And then also you will see stories like recently, I just somehow glanced into some entertainment news that it says that the mother who has 4 children, all right, and of course the most I would say influencing one will be Anita Mui, but sadly out of 4 children, 3 of them passed away and now she is left with just 1 son, all right. But then recently, if I'm not mistaken, I saw an article all right, that she have to denounce this son. She have to, in a way, that make it very clear that she's no longer, in a way, has any tie with this son. And what's the cause of the problem? Money, debts. Right? So you see that a lot of times achievement and fulfillment needs to come hand in hand. And that is the purpose of Chinese astrology and Chinese metaphysics. It's not a tool for us to create magical money falling from the sky for us. It's not that. It can't do that. I mean, if I can do that, I can just sit down here and create money. I don't have to work so hard, right? Okay, in order to create content, to think of the way to share all these things with you, because this is my bread and butter. This is my business. But the thing is, Chinese astrology really can, in a way, make you from someone who probably are in debt with nothing. Okay, you have probably never have any much I would say achievement in your life before, and eventually it can turn you to someone with great achievement. And that is what Chinese astrology can do. All right, so when you look at this achievement and fulfillment, it is also very important that we have to have a balance between two. Right? When we have the achievement, remember, it is also a part of attachment. Now, attachment, it is not to say that it's not good. I know that a lot of religious background, a lot of people are preaching non-attachment. We have to go into the state of we are not attached to anything. We have to let go, right? But the thing is, I always find that there's a balance into everything. Now, to me, if you ask me personally, right, is attachment good? I wouldn't say that it is bad, okay? Right, there's neither good or bad. It's always about balancing between the yin and yang, okay? Good and evil, all right? Whatever you call it. But the thing is, attachment needs to be present somehow in a certain level. An attachment where we are so convicted, okay, to do certain things. But the thing is, to me, my belief is, as long as we are not attached to it, that means we do not belong to them. We do not belong to branded goods. We do not belong to money. We want them, we are attached, we want it, but we can detach anytime. Okay, so at the end of the day, we can have all this luxurious lifestyle, but also at a point where we need to let it go, we are ready to let it go. It means that, okay, we can be attached, we can have all this luxurious thing, okay, but at the end of the day, it cannot own us. It doesn't own us. That is the meaning of a balanced attachment. And of course, when you have the fulfillment, the yin counterpart, when you know how to fulfill this, you know how to balance the yin part, okay, based on the Chinese astrology, we will have our freedom. Only when we can manage between these two, then we will have both the achievement, fulfillment, and freedom at the same time. But you see, fulfillment comes in differently from different people, right? Everyone is different, right? For you and me and everyone else in the world, we see fulfillment in a different way. So how do we view fulfillment? You see, fulfillments in terms of poor family compared to fulfillments in wealthy family, it is very different. Now, come to look at this particular images here, okay, that we have prepared. Now, you see, people in countries which are like sufferings, those people who are in countries which is like living in troubled nations and all that, at the end of the day, their fulfillment is as long as they have something to put into their mouth to feed them and the family, they're happy, they're joyful, they are thankful, and this is the fulfillment. As long as they have their day-to-day life taken care of, they have food, okay, they have water, okay, they have shelter over their head, they will be so fulfilled and they will be so happy. Now, if you take a look on the perspective of a very, I would say, advanced nations, okay, nations which is in a way wealthier nations. Now, look at the fulfillments, okay, of people living in an environment where our fulfillments, or some of us, okay, fulfillments will be the great car that we drive. That's like lavish lifestyles, private jets, big home, luxurious brands, right? Even desserts itself, it's like we purposely prepared, Nicole prepared this particular dessert itself, has been to be coated in like gold flakes. And this is a lifestyle that people in an advanced country are looking for when it comes to fulfillment. And this is very, very different from people who are from a poor family. So there's seriously no right or wrong. Yep. Okay. Sorry. There's seriously no right or wrong at the end of the day, but it's really just depends on individual. Now, but the thing is, in order for us to feel fulfilled, okay, we need to have the wealth, the money. Okay, for people who are poor, as long as they have the money to put bread and butter onto the table to feed the family, they are happy. Now, for people who are more well-to-do, they just want more. The attachment becomes greater. We want more things in life itself. So at the end of the day, it's like, why is it wealth so important now based on Chinese astrological alignment? I'm sure many of you who followed me in my talks and all these things, you know, when at the brim of a changes in terms of period, from period 8 to period 9, we are going into a period of fire element. And of course, when it comes to the cosmic trinity, we are also at the brim when the great Centurion portal has just opened. We are in the transitions of another era, of another great energy that's coming up, that is already happening now. So when we look into the cosmic trinity, we know that whatever that's going to impact us in our destiny, in our lifetime, it comprises of heaven, earth, and also man, or human luck over here. So when it comes to heaven here, we know that now it is greatly happening. A lot of like planetary alignment. There's a lot of new discovery when it comes to like, astronomy. There are possibilities of like new discovery of like certain, even other galaxies or even other planets. Okay, so everything moves very fast. There's a lot of new discovery happening due to the impact of the fast moving energy. Now on Earth itself, okay, I'm sure you and I have actually in a way felt it for the past 2 years, all right? That we are going on to our, our third year now, okay? The whole 2020, 2021, we are now into 2022. So you know that on Earth itself, the current environment, there are rapid changes. The pandemic, there are rapid changes or redistributions of the money. We talked about this last week, right? All this money which is in the market, it won't disappear. It's just that now it is taking a new form of distribution. It is going on to different people, redistributed into new owners. That's why now that when the energy is not very stable, it is massively changing and growing. And this is the most important time for us to see the opportunities. Because in Chinese, we know that 危機,危機, whenever there is danger, there is opportunity. When things are unstable, there are always opportunity. When things are stable, right, we are lacking of opportunity. So now is the time where we know that the opportunities are out there. Everything is changing, all right? So on the human part of it, then you know human part represents on the cosmic trinity perspective, it represents the energy, the preparations or the strategies that we use as a human being. It means for us, is it very blurry? No, right? It's only the TV. All right, so my gadget here is fine. So when you look at, okay, on the human form, in order for us to get ourselves prepared, human here represents our energy, okay, our own contributions of energy and our preparations and the strategies that we have, okay, in order for us to curate, okay, or navigate the path in front of us. And that is the impact of the Trinity. So now we know that heaven is moving rapidly. That will impact on earth itself is also changing rapidly. As human being on earth itself, we need to follow the trend. We have to go with the flow. We have to ensure that we are also rapidly making the changes, having the awareness in order for us to grow. Now, take a look now as in what's happening at the heavens perspective. And I'm sure this one, okay, many of you has already been following, you know, okay, ever since the Great Conjunction in year 2020, up to now, the opening of the Great Centurion portal, which just happened last week, the energy has been massive, accelerating. It's moving fast. So a lot of this like fast moving thing, that's why like more and more, you know, period 9 coming up, okay, right? We are at the brim of changing from period 8 to period 9. So everything that's affected by period 9 will actually emerge now, okay, when the intense of the energy is happening. And we officially enters it in 2024. So this year and next year will be the last two final year where you still have the residue of period 8. So the fire energy has been rapidly coming in. So the next thing is we want to ask ourselves, what is this fire energy and how is it going to impact us? So we need to understand what period 9 is all about. What is this Li Gua or fire energy is all about? I've been talking about this a lot of time, okay? So if you understand the nature of fire, always remember, fire is something that continuously burning, okay? It needs to burn continuously. It needs to be on the go. Because you see, when you put up a fire, when you will start a fire, it will not stop until you have to deliberately stop it. You have to, in a way, like put an end to it, or else the nature of fire, it will keep on going as much as it can. It will keep on growing and expanding as much as it can. It will keep on taking down whatever that gets into the way. It will exhaust whatever resources that fire have. That is the nature of fire, right? And fire nature itself, okay, it only has a future without a past. Because fire only burns towards the future. It has no past. Because the past of fire is no longer fire. The past of fire becomes earth. It becomes stagnation. It becomes non-moving. It becomes ashes. All right, so that is the past of fire. So if we understand this, and from last week we already talked about the Li Gua, how the energy is shifting, okay, from in a way averagely having the same energy from 3 tiers from the lower, middle, and upper, okay. Now we are dividing the energy from the lower, middle, and upper. Means the middle side of the Li Gua here is hollow. It is empty. And we have actually talked about this, okay, last week, because the middle here represents middle income group. People who are in a way now probably enjoying a comfortable, not too comfortable, but okay lifestyle. Right, that is the middle part. Whereas the upper part people are those really top of the chain, rich and famous, super wealthy, okay? And the lower part are those people who are in a way trying to make ends meet. So when we have this 3 tier itself, now we are going into a segregations of energy where you will see that things are redistributing itself. A lot of the middle path energy or the middle income group energy will be either distributed towards the upper level or towards the lower level. So now we have to understand eventually the middle side itself will become weaker and weaker. So when the fire burns, the chances is the resources that we have will become weaker. So overall, you can see natural resources, okay, on Mother Earth itself. You can also see that personal resources, our wealth, our money will become weaker and weaker. And that also, in a way, probably it won't affect us in this generation, but it in a way has a very high chance of affecting the next generation. Because you know that the nature of fire here in period 9 is it burns. It will exhaust everything. That's why you see the trend nowadays, not all, but younger people, youngsters now, or even people who are in a way older people, suddenly they have this shift of mindset. You know, in previous years itself, they were thinking about saving money, keeping hold to their money. But now it's a lot of people, they don't care. They spend first. Think about it later, especially the younger ones, right? They will spend whatever they have first for enjoyment, for that fulfillment. Okay, so that the fire energy, because somehow it segregates the middle, the heart becomes hollow. A lot more people feels emptiness within the heart. So whenever we feel empty, we try to find the fulfillment. Remember, in a well-to-do society, people find fulfillment in attachment, branded goods, lavish lifestyle, okay? Well, we are Instagrammable environment, okay? People find, okay, in a way, fulfillment in this top part, okay? And when we find fulfillment in this particular area of life, there is more, the chances of our resources get burnt out. So we need to understand this before it is too late. Now, if you look at China, last week I have shared with you, okay, they know that this middle part, okay, eventually we get burnt out. They know that somehow the rich will get richer, the poor will get poorer. So what they will do now is, they somehow put in rules and regulation to redistribute the wealth. They cannot allow, okay, anyone monopolize the market. So that is what they are coping, preparing themselves with period 9. Because you see, in a way, inequality when it comes to income and wealth distribution in a certain nation or country, eventually it becomes a serious issue. It will become a serious problem. And we are now seeing it. We are already seeing it now Earth perspective. Now, the heaven perspective, we talk about period 9. The alignment, the great conjunction. We talk about the Grand Central Portal opening. But on Earth now, we know that what's happening now is there are more billionaires in the making, right? Faster than any years before this. There are more and more people suddenly becomes millionaires and billionaires. It's so fast and it becomes so accelerated. And you see that all this news, right? So you can just play back the Facebook Live later on, okay? And revisit all this news itself. This is not even updated. I'm sure that there are even more updated news. And all these things happen in the middle of a pandemic. All these things actually happen within these 2 years where majority of the people are suffering from the impact of a great pandemic in our era. But at the same time, you have this record number of new billionaires in the year. So therefore, this shows us that really the rich are getting richer and the poor are really getting poorer. Because you see that also a lot of news talks about millions of people are in a way tumbling down from middle income group to a lower income group. And you know, we are in Malaysia, and Malaysia are also greatly impacted by this. Look at the inflations that we are going through now, right? I mean, once upon a time, you can get a McDonald's sundae for like, what, 99 cents, 1 ringgit? And now, without really realizing it, it's 2 ringgit, right? You can get like Milo ice is like 4 ringgit, 4.50 for a Milo ice, probably in the Mamak area or in a kopitiam, you know. All right, and this is really, in a way, hurting, especially on the middle income group people. All right, but the thing is, why are we allowing this to hurt? Why is this happening? I'm sure a lot of people are, in a way, during this time, a lot of people are making tons and tons of money. All right, but why are some people, in a way, really, without realizing it, falls down into this trap of wealth that is happening in that massive change, okay, that is taking place, right? Because a lot of people have focused on something that, not to say that we shouldn't be focusing on, but we have overly focused on something, okay, that will do more harm to us rather than doing more good to us, the pandemic. Now, if you really, I know, when I say things like this, I might get backfired. I might get people who are condemning me or who eventually will cancel me out as like, Jessie, what are you trying to say that we shouldn't be focused on the pandemic? Yes, the pandemic is happening. We have to be safe. We have to, in a way, follow certain, procedures, okay, to keep safe, okay, and make sure that everyone around us is safe. But if we are too emotionally affected by it, if we are too fearful, okay, and highly affected by it, that is the reason I'm saying that, in a way, this is the thing that is taking us away from by focusing onto the wealth. Means that, you see, a focus of any human beings is very important. Wherever we put our focus, that's when the energy goes. Remember cosmic trinity, heaven, earth, and man? Human here represents the energy. If every single individual, if all of us choose to pay attention to the pandemic, we pay attention to the fear, okay, going or in a way leading, okay, all of us in the midst of this particular pandemic, right, that is taking away our energy or our power, okay. We know that this is happening, but we shouldn't be, in a way, paying too much attention to it, but in a way, refocus on something else, refocus on something that we can do better, we can control, all right. Because if you look at this, now, I have Googled this. I do not own this, okay. Whoever that owned this particular information, okay, it is still all here. Now, you can see that pandemic in history. In terms of Chinese astrology, we know that everything is going in a cycle. Everything is in a cycle. Everything is moving in a cycle, all right. So this is not the latest. This is updated in 2021, right. So here talks about all the histories of pandemic and its death toll. So I just want to put the figures and facts to everyone so that now when we look at the figures, all right, we will in a way be aware of how much, in a way, energy that we might have overly been put into this particular topic itself. Okay, so everyone, for this whole entire 2 years, coming up to 3 years, people are still very affected by the pandemic. I know it has taken away many lives, okay? And I'm sorry for those, in a way, are affected by it. But the thing is, we have to change our focus level. We have to in a way, reposition our energy. Because if you look at the history of pandemics itself, you see now the biggest over here, okay, is it's not COVID. COVID is here, okay? All right, it is not small. Let me see, where am I? I'm slightly lagging over here, okay? So COVID is actually here. But you see, in histories itself, there are greater pandemics that have happened. Let me just zoom in this so that all of you move me to the side so that I'm not blocking this information. My assistant is playing with phone, not knowing what's happening. Hello? She has no clue that I'm talking to her. All right. Okay, that's what happened when you have a 18 years old working together with you. All right, patience. All right, so now, if you look at this, you see that, of course, in the Black Death in history itself, okay, this is something that have taken 200 million of life. And it happens in the span of year 1347 to 1351. So that's what, 4 years? Okay, 4 years, it have taken 200 million. And we are talking about like those years in the 13th, okay? I mean, in the 14th century, it's like the chances is like probably the datas are not as accurate. But we're talking about 4 years taking over 200 millions of life, okay? And the second one I want to look here is, of course, Spanish flu. I'm sure a lot of you has actually heard about it, the one in green. Now, this happens between 2 years. 1918 and 1919. So in 2 years' time, it has taken 40 to 50 million of lives. It is scary, all right? And of course, HIV, okay, which is the red one over here, over 1981 up to now, it is still ongoing. It have taken about like 35 millions of lives. Now look at COVID. COVID here up to June 2021, it has taken 3.9 million. Yes, I know 3.9 million is a great amount, but I'm comparing. I've just Google search, okay? Latest up to now, okay? It comes out about like 5 point something million, right? Up to now, it comes about like 5 point something million. But comparatively to all these great pandemics that have happened, this is seriously, in a way, on a minor scale. But the thing is, due to technology, due to media, due to social media, due to the convenience of like really putting out all this information or news, okay, we in a way put ourselves into an era where this is the most talked about. I mean, this is really the most talked about. The whole world are connected, sharing about the worst fear of this particular pandemic. Okay, every time a single source of information comes out, it is spread throughout the whole world with no boundaries. In fact, it is more viral and it's more viral than the virus. Okay, it is more scary than the virus. It spreads so fast. And due to this spreading of news, that a lot of times it can also instigate fear. And a lot of people are tapping, okay, opportunities into it. People create, okay, fake news, false news. You can see people create all this like frauds and all these things due to the fear that we have in the market. And if the more we put focus into this, the more in a way we distract ourselves to focusing on our own wealth growth. So the thing is, what can be done on a man's perspective? Remember just now, you align me back to the center, right? Just now we talk about heaven, earth, and man. So on earth, we know the pandemic has happened. We know the histories of the pandemic that has happened, okay? But what can we do on a human's perspective? What can be done at the man's perspective? Awareness and action. It is very important. Focus on the right energy, because whatever that we are focusing on, that is the energy contributing to that particular topic. So now I will, in a way, okay, if we want to focus on money or wealth, we should be putting our emotions into money or wealth or abundance or fulfillment or achievement, instead of, in a way, putting our emotions into still looking out and always looking into shout out of a pandemic and how fearful it can be. Now always remember, emotions here represents energy in motion, right? So the energy within us, remember heaven, earth, and man. Human represents the energy. So we have the decisions, okay? We can make the decisions to put where we want to put our energy, where we put our focus. So the more we put our energy into a certain topic or certain awareness, right, the more we will manifest into that particular direction, right? And the energy over here, it talks about the emotions, the excitement that we have, the ganjiangness, the fear that we have, okay, the worries that we have. All these are emotions, and this is our energy. Now imagine if these emotions, all the worries, all the fear, all the concern, or the frustrations, or the anger, okay, all these particular emotions, if we can redirect it, right, and ensure that this energy are moving in the motions of wealth and money and achievement and fulfillment, all of us will definitely see results. We will manifest that results. But the first thing is, we as humans, we have to focus on the right thing, right? Because if not, the chances is we are now focusing on the things which is distracting us from building that wealth. And that, I would say, that is a major cause of a problem, the fundamental cause of a problem. And a lot of people are not aware of it. Because a lot of people, they are not even aware that they are focusing on a thing that is not really growing them, okay, in terms of their wealth or in terms of their achievement. So they're only focusing on news and forwarding news that at the end of the day, chances is it's not making them any better as a human being. So these are the things that tonight's session itself I want to share with you is, do pay attention into where we are putting our energy in, okay? Because the funny thing is, you see, right, people who are in a more advanced nation, in fact, right, okay, we have the highest rate of suicidal. Where else, if you really search about it, right, okay, people in the most troubled nation, right, the top countries or nations where have the least suicidal rates, right, you can come out with countries like Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and these are the places that people are fighting to continue to live, you know. They're really fighting to continue to live, no matter what things that happen to them. They have this fight to survive. Where else, if you search, people in Korea, Japan, China, to name a few, this one has almost the highest suicidal rate. Now, why is that so? Because the focus and the fulfillment is different, right? When we focus on things, okay, that somehow depresses us, that's why we go into part that will chances to, in a way, end, okay, our growth or end our life. But when we focus on something, okay, that somehow that makes us better, on a survivor mode that we know that we can be better, right? And then that is when we can actually, in a way, that constantly make breakthroughs and emerge better. All right, so this is a sharing. I mean, to me, is I just want to share with you, okay, in the fundamental is like, why is it a lot of people, okay, are not making or manifesting the amount of wealth that they want to manifest? Why a lot of people are not manifesting the lifestyle that they want to manifest? It all goes back to that attachment of freedom. And in order for us to reach that freedom, we have to look deep into our subconscious and make breakthroughs, right? Tweaking our mindset, making breakthroughs into, like, you know, our strategies, okay, the things that we are doing, okay, the belief that we have, right? So if we are aware of this, if you pay awareness onto this, slowly we can shift the outcome, slowly we can make those changes. But in the first place, if we are not aware of it, eventually we will be affected and going with the flow of the energy that's impacting us. If the energy now is like it wants us to go into an exhaustion, that all of us will be exhausting our resources, we will also follow the flow. That's why you see the trend now is that people just spend first, worry about it later, take loans, get themselves into debts, right? Try to make fast money because they can't wait, they do not want to work on themselves, but yet they want to fall for scams, for frauds, for all this like sweet, like, you know, how to say, promises that eventually will promise them more money. And that is what period 9 is all about. All right, so I hope that if you listen to this either live now or after this particular live when you watch the replay, try to reflect on that and try to make the awareness into yourself, into ourselves, as in like, where have we been putting our focus? Where have we been reacting emotionally? And that is something that we will manifest out at the end of the day. All right. So here, of course, I'm going to share with you, right, for those of you who have not heard about my upcoming breakthrough workshop on wealth itself. Yes, I know many of you have signed up. I think we have almost 200 plus, okay, who have signed up for this particular Wealth Code 2022. So if you are interested to join me, we are going out for 100 ringgit. It's happening on the 6th of March, which is the upcoming next week, the week after this, okay? So it is from 2 to 6 p.m. Malaysia time via Zoom online. So if you're interested to join this particular program where I'll talk about Chinese astrology, look into your party chart and find out what are the subconscious blockages that is stopping us from manifesting the abundance and the fulfillment of life or the freedom that we are longing for. So this will be the breakthrough workshop for you. And of course here also, right, we have, okay, my long-term partner, childhood friend, also sharing, okay, he's a coach, right, and he's also sharing with us the millionaire mindset. That's an additional, because previously I'm selling this breakthrough program 2 to 5. Now we are 2 to 6 because we have a segment where Joseph, okay, my partner itself, he will be sharing with you from the mindset perspective of how to cultivate the millionaire mindset. All right, so if you feel that this is something that calls onto you, do scan on the QR code over here or click on the link below or in this title of this particular Facebook Live, and you can actually sign up and join me and Joseph on the 6th of March, where I will be sharing with you how to make breakthroughs, bring to awareness what are the things that it is hidden, the secrets that's hidden in your chart that is stopping us from moving forward, and what are these issues, what are these things, how it has been happening to you and how you can make breakthroughs to it. All right, so this is a thing that you can actually learn in this particular workshop. And other than this, of course, some of you might have already followed me on my Telegram. This is another commitment that I put in, okay, together with my team itself, to share with you more exclusive information. It means that Most of the informations that you have in my Telegram channel, you will not have it on Facebook. So these are the platform where I'll be sharing of like daily animal signs who are good at doing whatever endeavors, okay? What are the animal signs which is good for wealth? Because I know when it comes to date selections, you have certain dates which is good, there are certain dates which is not so good. But to me, you know, I always believe that there is always a yin and yang. Even good dates itself, okay, can be good for certain people, but might not be as great for certain people. And bad dates or so-called negative dates or challenging dates itself can still be good for certain endeavor and good for certain animal sign, right? So those of you, if you want to get the updates daily of the daily animal signs of doing different endeavors, you can join me on this official Telegram channel where I will also, whenever I go, I travel, I will be also sharing with you short video clips about the feng shui of the places that I go through. Or not only that, on all spiritual sort of like informations, knowledge. It means that this channel are dedicated for knowledge, informations, for us to learn, for us to grow together, okay, for us to understand more things. So the aspect from feng shui, from spiritual, and from everything in parts of life, as long as we learn something. So the motto is always about like learn something new every day. So if you have not joined me, please do join me on my official Telegram channel, and I'll see you there. Okay, you can comment there. Me and my team will try to, in a way, like get to you. Not personal questions though. Okay, we don't answer personal questions. Personal questions you can actually seek for a consult, either me or my team. Okay, but if generally from whatever topic that we shared, you want to understand more, you can always drop us a message there. All right. Thank you so much to all of you. All right, so today it's ends slightly earlier. Can I just see, is there any questions that I need to attend to? All right, bad news sales, not many share the recovery rate. Okay, Peggy Ang. All right, so Peggy, thank you also so much for always like tuning in, supporting this channel itself. All right, yeah, bad news really sells, right? Fear sells as well. Okay, a lot of times, right, people just have to, in a way, instigate more fear, okay, more even for more fear of missing out, okay, right? As long as like people have this mentality of fear of missing out, chances of like selling to them is higher, right? So always remember, whatever that I've shared in this Facebook Live, this awareness is good enough for you to work on, but only if you feel like you want to go deeper, you want to go in a way like to understand more about yourself based on your date of birth and time of birth, and learn at least on a certain level of breakthroughs, what are the hidden blockages or obstacles that you host on within your chart. Okay, so if you're interested in that, then join this session. I always say one thing, doesn't mean that if you don't join it, all right, you'll be any less luckier. Okay, so please, even for people who join it, if you don't put in action, you will be the same. All right, so always remember, all these informations are only helpful if we put in the action. But of course, if we know what are the things we need to focus on, how can we take the action so that we don't have to, in a way, waste a lot of time. In Chinese, we call 行冤枉路. All right, so if we can do that, why not? It shortens our path. We can actually go on and take the path of least resistance rather than going through all this, like fighting all the obstacles and the resistance that we have in our life itself. So this is all these breakthrough workshops, and Chinese astrology is like a compass for us to navigate through our life easier, but doesn't mean that we don't have problem. We will still face with the problem, but it's easier for us to cater to it. It's easier for us to face those obstacles, right? Thank you so much to all of you who in a way are supporting me. Again, those of you who are watching, if you can, do help me to share this session out to people around you and on your Facebook as well. And do stay safe, all right, everyone, and reflect on what is your strategy plan of the year? How are you going to make yourself wealthier this year? What will be your focus onto your career? How can you make yourself more valuable this year? Even though if you're not joining the class, reflect on these questions, get the answer, work on it, because all festive seasons has past. Okay, this is really the time for us to focus onto the growth, so that by the end of the year and early next year, if I see all of you falling on my page again, I see a new you. I see someone who has made a transformation, who have made new achievement in their life, and that is, I guess, all like a coach or all in a way like teachers would want to see from their students. So I really wish all of you the best. Remember to focus on your goal, work towards it, and hopefully all of us will transform and we will meet greater heights by the end of this year together. Thank you so much for your time and tuning in and supporting me. Do help me to share this out. Bye bye. Good night.